The DA claims they could run South Africa better than the ANC. Maybe they could, but what good is competence if you can't win power? Over the years, they have abandoned bold leadership and instead embraced a victim mentality, always reacting defensively instead of driving the national agenda. And here's the truth. The votes the ANC has lost over the years are not because of anything the DA has done. The DA has not been winning. The ANC has been losing. Voter shifts have come from ANC failures, not DA success. That's why MK has now surged past the EFF in votes, proving that people looking for an alternative aren't automatically turning to the DA. Instead of capturing disillusioned voters, the DA is letting others take the space. The DA's biggest problem is that they are technocrats with hubris living in an ivory tower. They assume that just being competent should be enough to win elections. They believe voters should simply recognize their superiority and reward them with power. But politics doesn't work that way. It's not just about being right. It's about connecting with people, controlling the narrative, and winning trust. That's why MK, a party built on populism, nostalgia, and anger rather than policy, still managed to energize voters in a way the DA never could. Without a clear economic plan or governance strategy beyond opposition to the ANC, MK still gained more traction in a short period than the DA has in decades. That should be a wake-up call. The DA has three major failures that keep them locked in opposition. First, they have become victims instead of leaders. Instead of setting the agenda, they spend all their time complaining about race politics, media bias, and unfair treatment. They act as if being right should be enough to win elections. But politics is about power, not pity. The ANC, EFF, and now MK understand this. They control the narrative and force others to react to them. Meanwhile, the DA only reacts, constantly playing defense instead of taking control of the national debate. A party that is always on the back foot will never take charge. Second, they criticize but don't lead. The DA spends all its time pointing out ANC failures, but rarely offers a clear, actionable alternative. Where is their tax strategy that broadens the revenue base without overburdening businesses? Where is their energy plan beyond just privatization and vague slogans? Where is their crime strategy that doesn't just mean more police, but tackles the economic drivers of crime? Where is their economic vision that doesn't only focus on big business, but actually integrates the informal sector? A party that only opposes and never proposes is not a government in waiting. Third, they are making it too easy for the ANC. Even if the DA didn't win outright, being bold would force the ANC to improve. More votes for a strong opposition mean more accountability, more pressure, and less room for ANC corruption and mismanagement. But instead, the DA's weak and predictable strategy makes things too easy for the ANC. The ruling party doesn't even have to try because they know the DA will just sit back and complain, instead of actually inspiring people with an alternative vision. They claim to have a better understanding of how to run the country, yet instead of leading the conversation, they sit on the sidelines, playing the victim and reacting to every attack. South Africa needs a real alternative, not just a smug opposition that feels sorry for itself. MK's rise should be a wake-up call. A party with no real policy roadmap managed to capture a growing voter base simply by being bold, aggressive, and unapologetic. Meanwhile, the DA, despite its claims of competence, has failed to inspire, mobilize, or challenge the ANC in a meaningful way. If they don't change, they will be swept aside like every weak opposition before them.